First of all, dear audience and my colleagues in this beautiful conference room of CII, I would like to start to thank you and appreciate the focus and attention that been given to one of the GCC countries, United Arab Emirates. I would like also to thank Mr. Malhotra for the introduction, and would like to welcome you all. Namaskar to all of you, and wishing you a good day and interactive presentation where I would go through a presentation slides that I would like to share the information and data will be there, and later on we'll be more than happy to have an interactive session of questions and answers that would benefit us to know more about the inquiries of the business and industrials of India, and also would allow us to share with you the plans, strategic plans, and the economy overview for the coming few years of United Arab Emirates economy. Firstly, I would like to highlight the economy of UAE. In general, the population of UAE is almost 8 million inhabitants. Of course, our currency is UAE dirhams. UAE dirhams is pegged to the US dollars, which is equivalent to 3.675. The most important information which I would like to highlight as well is the growth that we've seen in the last 2 years after the financial crisis in the world, which worried everyone and less worried us because of the plan for the economy and the vision that our leaders contribute and we tribute to it, that proved that we have extremely solid economic climate. That's why the opportunities have been always lying with the challenges, and there will be always an opportunity with every challenge. The presentation slides will talk also about the 7 pillars of UAE, and we'll talk definitely about the opportunities and sectors of focus. As I said, the UAE GDP was ranked second in the GCC after Saudi Arabia. The drive towards diversification is reflected within the non-oil sector, and it's very important to know that 67% of the GDP comes from the non-oil sectors. The capital flow into the UAE surged by nearly 40%, more than about $7 billion in 2011, despite the sharp decline in the most of the region countries. And I would refer the reasons to the political unrest and global downturn, but according to the UN, but it's excellent to know that the economy model of UAE standard and showed that contribution. When it comes to trade, UAE has been classified as the world's 20th biggest exporter in merchandise trade, with about $285 billion of exports. UAE is ahead of nations such as Australia, Brazil, Switzerland, and Sweden, according to the WTO. When we talk about the capital and profits, we must also talk about the tax incentives. It's a tax haven country, the favorable tax environment, which consists of income tax and corporate tax, are very well known. Of course, the infrastructure facilities, such as ports, airports, are great contribution to the economy. And the banking and financial systems, as always important to know, is a world class when it comes to instruments and international financial services. The advantages of the economy fundamentals and the transformation of the economy from a hydrogen-based economy driven to a non-oil-based sector driven, and reaching to allow us to be a knowledge-based economy is one of the major parameters that we would like to talk about today. The factors of that drive the economy is, of course, combined with a strategic plan that the government of UAE looking at and having it in the main attention. More to know about the global positioning of the UAE economy. In the Doing Business report of 2013 from the World Bank, the UAE was ranked 26th globally. And why is that? Because of the government initiatives and business-friendly policies. In the competitiveness report by the World Economic Forum, UAE was ranked 24th globally and 3rd in the Arab world. In the enabling of trade, also by the World Economic Forum, the UAE was ranked 1st. And we attribute that ranking because of the efficiency of customs, exports and imports procedures, and also the attractiveness for the business environment and ease of doing business. Similarly, it ranked also 1st among Arab countries and 17th worldwide in the UN recent World Happiness Report, and 16th internationally in the IMD World Competitiveness Yearbook. When we talk about the 7 Emirates, Abu Dhabi is the largest, and it's the 3rd world reserves of oil. The diversification in Abu Dhabi is enhanced by the infrastructure and the facilities. And we are happy to know that and to share with you that L&T Construction was the first contracting company to build Abu Dhabi Airport from India. And this is a story which, one of the success stories that we also like to share with you when it comes to the partnership between UAE and India. Arena is one of the important points that we like to mention as the headquarters of the UN Specialized Agency. It's located adjacent to Masdar City, which is an initiative by the Abu Dhabi government to be the host for green and renewable energy companies as well as researchers. It's the first city of its kind in the world to host the research academy as well as the business platform for providing the region as well as the world with green energy. It's hosting one of the major events in the world next month, and we are extremely happy to receive a delegation from India as well who confirmed and participate in the Green Energy Award as well. And I'm wishing them all the best. The second pillar of the UAE is Dubai, where are the giants, unbelievable projects, dreams actually came true, with an economy which shows an increase of more than 4% in the first half of 2012. Dubai is a hub for exports, imports, and that's because of the infrastructure of ports and airports. The airports of Dubai received more than 50 million passengers in the year 2011, and there will be another breakthrough number for the end of 2012 as the last indications of statistics for the first 3 quarters of this financial year. The economy, of course, is diversified from an oil and gas-based economy to focus more on tourism, real estate, and financial services. Construction, of course, is one of the main sectors that all the projects, either financial or tourism-oriented projects, are based around. I would add retail as one of the, and hospitality as one of the major sub-sectors of tourism that Dubai is focusing for, and in encouraging the FDI to drive the growth further from this region and other regions in the world. Sharjah will be one of the well-known emirates for its start in cricket matches of Indian teams, and one of the most growing SME-based economy, and drive more than 33% of the country's manufacturing sector. The sectors of travel, tourism, and transport is few sectors other than logistics, healthcare sectors, which are important for the Indian businessman and industrials to focus at because of its central location when it comes to the UAE map, because of its infrastructure as well as the availability of resources. Next to Sharjah, Ajman is the Ras Al Khaimah, I'll start with, is the next Northern Emirates cities after Sharjah. Rak, as we call it in India, and very well known as the abbreviation of Ras Al Khaimah, Rak is the leading city when it comes to glass industry, cement, and medicine. One of the leading companies in pharmaceutical in the MENA region is Julfar, and the partnership between the public and the private sector when it comes to healthcare, when it comes to construction materials, is very well defined. Other than this, there are also small and medium scale industries. We will happy to share that one of the leading manufacturer of buses in the world, Ashok Leyland, chose Ras Al Khaimah to be their MENA region base, and they are manufacturing and exporting buses from city of Ras Al Khaimah. Ajman is, as I said, one of the Northern Emirates, although it's the smallest of the 7 Emirates, but it's big by its planning and projects, also providing the basic industries and raw materials. The free zones of Ajman is one of the leading free zones in UAE, and when we come to the business setups and formation of companies, we would definitely highlight the free zones contribution to the economy. When it comes to other Emirates, we also focus on Fujairah as the jewel of the Eastern region, Fujairah has a very active and world-class port. The tourism attractiveness and hospitality of World Hotels brands is one of the drives for the Fujairah economy. It's been very highlighted in the news that oil and gas projects and Fujairah got the importance of the oil and gas industries from this region as well as the world, because we started in the UAE to pump oil or through the pipelines to Fujairah to have other access to the world and the importers of oil and gas. When it comes to focus, sectors of focus, we identified the few sectors which would be in importance and also which would be in attractive sectors for the business and investors from India. But before we highlight the sectors, we would like to also mention the business setup procedures. It's a very friendly procedures. I had a letter being sent by someone defined himself in the letter saying, "I'm unknown to you, but I listened to your speech in one of the conferences about business setup in UAE. I had my company setup procedures done in 2 hours." And that was a business case for him when he landed in the morning and went to one of the economic departments. He signed his papers, applied his request, got the forms, and by his flight back in the evening, he had his trade license in hand for export and import, which is a real story that shows us how we can also provide these kind of services, and we also focus on enhancing them and making them more efficient for business people. Of course, the chambers of commerce in UAE are the destination for your answers with regards to the business environment. They would be more than happy to highlight the opportunities as well as the procedures. Now, when it comes to the sectors, we'll go through the sectors in just a highlighting way of mentioning them, because we can have more interactions for your questions when it comes to specific sector. And because we would like to have the interaction Q&A afterwards, I would really urge you to put down notes of your questions in particular sectors, and we would throw more light into it. Oil and gas, renewable energy, construction and real estate, tourism and hospitality are 3 of the main sectors that we are focusing on, in addition to healthcare and pharmaceutical. And I would like to mention here that the UAE is one of the biggest markets for outbound medical tourism in the Middle East, considering high medical treatment costs and the proximity of competitive medical destinations such as India and Southeast Asia. We believe that creating partnerships between UAE providers will improve patients' access to advanced medical equipment. Currently, and we're happy to share that the partnerships exist between public and private providers. Just for instance, Latifa Hospital in Dubai signed recently an MOU with one of the private hospitals, WellCare Hospital, as well as the American hospital in Dubai, to provide services to patients in cases of congestion at Latifa Hospital, which is a clear partnership opportunity for private healthcare sector player in India. In general, what we are looking at when it comes to these sectors, we are trying to drive a knowledge-based economy. And in April 2012, His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum launched Mohammed bin Rashid Initiative for Smart Learning. And this is another sector where the education and e-education players in India can benefit from the growing and supported sector of education in UAE. The implemented partnership between the Ministry of Education and the Telecommunication Regulatory Authority, and supervised also by the Cabinet Secretariat. It's expected to cost around 1 billion dirhams. And this plan is to enhance the education sector with the latest technological platform, as well as to drive the ICT sector in UAE. I will be more than happy to answer questions about procedures and licensing on the sectors of focus that we mentioned. The oil and gas and construction, real estate, tourism and hospitality. The connectivity, of course, is one of the most important factors that drive the business flow between UAE and India. We are having more than 660 flights per week between the UAE and India among all carriers, Indian as well as UAE-based carriers. And this is why we believe there will be always a room for expansion when it comes, and growth when it comes to trade, which is standing at over $74 billion for the year 2011 between both nations. At this point, I would like really to highlight as well that UAE invested in India through the FDI and FII over $8 billion, and we are ranked the 10th when it comes to the FDI ranked list of countries. Also, India invested through FDI in UAE more than $2.5 billion from the year 2008 to the recent first quarter of 2012. Ladies and gentlemen, we're looking at a partnership between both countries, which would come to the growth and more opportunities by yourself focusing on expanding your businesses and reaching to new markets, not only the GCC market, but also beyond that to the Arab world as well as the African continent. We have witnessed the success of many Indian businesses, as well as we always looking forward for UAE businesses to flourish and expand in this region of the world, as an India one of the actually the first partner to United Arab Emirates when it comes to trade. I would also urge the manufacturing sectors and financial sectors of India to look at opportunities available now in the near neighbor economy of UAE to benefit from the growth that we registered in the last 2 years, which are around 4% of GDP, where other nations in the world didn't reach what those growth and this economy provide. I would like to thank you for your patience and going through the presentation, and the commercial attaché office in India is more than happy to answer your questions even after this webinar through our website and email. The UAE Trade Office numbers is on the screen, and the email newdelhi@moft.gov.ae would be a good platform to interact with your inquiries and answer you for your interests. One more thing before I thank CII and the host for this opportunity. UAE is hosting the annual investment meeting next year, April 30th. Please mark this in your calendar. We would like to have a delegation as last year delegation from India headed by Minister, and we would like to have you interact in this meeting not only with UAE-based businesses but also from businesses around the world and investors from around the world, and their delegations headed by their ministers and leading business leaders of the world. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much, and looking forward for an interactive session that we will be able to answer all of your inquiries.